Hi crafters, how are you today? It's Jenny here from Papercraft Events, bringing you another video for the Fundamentals video series. Today I'm going to be talking to you about stencils and their uses in paper crafting. There's so many different types, so I'm just going to get into it and show you what we're going to do today. Okay. So as you can see, there's a whole pile of stencils here and some other products that you can use with your stencils. So I'll just quickly go through, so here you can see that I've used some stencils on this project. There's there's background stencil, there's ones done in black ink. There's some right in the background. You can just see that just adds layers to the project you're doing and gives it a bit of, character or, just dimension, and just makes the pages look more interesting than just having, ink on the page. And so this is a different project. On this one I did with resist, so I sprayed water on while the stencil was over it, and it took some of the ink away, which I'll be showing you this technique today. So you can use different types of products with these. With the stencils you can use textured pastes. Some textured pastes come in different colours. You can use also gessos, inks, paints, anything like that. So I'm going to show you that today as well. You can use either distress oxides or distress ink pads, or any ink that is quite easy to be moved around. So we're doing those. Also, we'll be looking that you can even use your pens to do some outlines, so hopefully we can get into that as well. Alright, so just going through, there's so many different sorts of stencils, different sizes and different patterns. It's just the amount of stencils out there is just phenomenal, and once you start you can't stop buying them because you go, oh, I've got to have that one. But as I said, they come in all sorts of sizes. Now it's a stencil like plastic. It's a stencil material that they use. There's different types, different heaviness. So this was quite heavy. These ones are quite heavy. Now these ones are a building block. So you can use the stencil here. I'll just put the white behind it so you can to basically build up a face. So you can do so if you can't draw, this is a good one to do a face on one of your projects. So you've got eyelashes and eyes, different noses, and then you can build the hair on top of that. So you can put some hair on. If you don't want it quite so long, you can stop earlier. And also then you've got some embellishments that you can put on the hair. So maybe you would want to do a flower in her hair or a necklace around her neck. There's the extension of the neck there. So that's those ones. So you also have stencils that sometimes come with mats. So this stencil here comes with these mats, so they fit in there. So you've got your left and your right, and I don't think I've put them in the right side. So that one, so they come like that, and you can either use the stencil and colour in the actual face here on your stencil, and then you add hair, or you can use the mat to do an outline either in ink. So I'll just to quickly have a quick go at this, just on this side. So you get the silhouette. I'm just doing it in pink so you can see that you've got the face there of the silhouette. So that probably would have been better if it was done on the edge of the thing. So you can see that, whereas this one you would do, and you can use them in conjunction. You can then go in and do another colour in go in with the other colour and fill out the face. So there you have, I mean it's not perfect that one, but you can see that face. It's a bit, and then you can add some hair, you know, either with, you know, I mean, that's just rough. I mean, and just doing to give you an idea. But I mean, I would do it in a different colour, but that's an idea there. Okay, so that's that type of stencil. So they're mats and things. This is, as I said, there's so many different kinds. Here you've got the same sort of thing. This is a mat of cogs. Here we have different backgrounds that you can use. These are big 12 by 12 ones, so you can use them on your 12 by 12 paper. This one I have used as the top of a dream catcher on a canvas, and use that as my starting block. So those 12 by 12 ones, you have backgrounds and things, and then you have ones that you could do. There's just so many different shapes and sizes and textures of these. Some are some are quite thin and delicate, so you need to do be a bit more, what's the word, easygoing with those ones. It's not as rough. So I mean, there's just so many. All right, so let's have a play with a few and see how we go. So here I have pre-done a couple of a couple of pieces of paper, and what I'm going to do is do a stencil over the top. I'm going to just pop that one here like that, and we're going to use the different colours. I'm going to basically be doing the blue, which is the peacock feathers. So basically using that, I'm going to pop that on and just going to start. Now you can tape these down with washi tape to keep them still if you're having trouble, especially if you're doing such a big area. But I'm just going to try a different colour here and go in with this. And just do this last one a little bit so it's moved slightly, but you can generally line them back up and go with the darker blue here, darker pink I should say. Okay, so that gives you that sort of just makes, like, it gives another layer to your page, you know. I mean, you could just go with that, put some stamps on it, and that would be a pretty backing to a card. So that's that. Well, I mean, as I said, there's so many different types of stencils that you could pretty much build heaps and heaps of layers. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the resist, which is this one here. So we're going to spray some water. So pop this on top, like so. We would do this, or we would do, no, we'll do this. So we'll do circles and see how we go. So we're just going to use water. This is just a bottle filled with water. It's not a great water, that's it. Now the more water you put on, the more the ink will come away. So because this is distress ink, the water actually takes the helps take the ink out of the away from the paper, so you can get a great look. So then we just take it off like that, and then once we lift it up, we have this pretty, and we can and then you could dry it. So we have this pretty, you can see it there, background. It sort of sits, it just gives it a soft stencil when it takes the colour away, so it's different shades of the colours that are there. Again, that just like that, add a couple of stamps and you've got a beautiful background for a card. So I'm just put this to the side. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the stencil for with the textured paste. So this would be textured paste, gesso, anything like that, any kind of paste that you can think about that you could use on your background. So again, we pop the stencil over the top. Now you could just do a little bit, you could do the whole lot, you could put, I mean, if it was a different one, you could put it on an angle. Let's try this one. We might do this one. See what this one looks like with the stencil. So with the paste. And I'm just going to go, so I'm going to do the whole thing. So I'm just going to grab the paste and just start sliding it over the top. Again, it would be, if you need to tape it down, you can. It just depends on you. Sometimes I do tape things down, other times I don't. It just depends on what I'm actually doing and if I think it's going to move too much. Now I scrape as much of this off as I can so that it's easy to clean later. So, oh, that looks so pretty. I can't wait to see that one. Can you see that? Oh, isn't that pretty? It's a pity I didn't do that one earlier. So I'm just going to wipe off the excess textured paste and off my, at home I would probably use a wet one, or if not I would pop it in the sink and clean that off, get rid of all the textured paste that's on there. Okay, so once we've done this part, now you could leave it like that. There's no reason you can't. You could have also coloured the textured paste so that you could have colour in it, or, and again, a great background, either on your card or on your scrapbook page or on a journal page. So this is what I'd done previously. Now this is just circle, so it's not as pretty as that one, but I'm just going to show you. So we're just going to add some ink to this so you can see the see it come about. So just starting off the page and inking up. And you can see that pattern coming out. Just add a different colour. And put some blue in there. Go. Oops, sorry. So you can see now, you can really see that where the textured paste is. Okay, I will just clean up a bit, then I'll show you the next thing I'm going to show you. Clean up my mat. side. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is with paint. Okay, so I've previously done some paint here, and now I'm going to use two different ways you can use paint. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do this leaf. Okay, now I've just used red paint. So what you do is you get a little bit of red paint on and you try and dab it off as much as you can, because it's better to have less paint than more paint, because if you have too much paint it tends to bleed. So what you're going to do is we're just going to dab, 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 dab. So like that, add more. Again, don't put too much on your sponge. And we're just going to go. Now you could do this. Oops, moved them. You could do this with obviously with your inks, but when you're using paint, it's much better to use sponges. I mean, you can use these and do the same thing with it, but make sure you do the same thing. Get as much ink off as you can. Sorry, paint off. Just dabbing. I'll just finish that one off. My paint's nearly dried up. Okay, and we lift it up and see, oh, that's quite pretty. So you can see how that would work well on a card. I mean, even if I haven't got the paint colours, even if you did that on top of a card in another paint or ink, it would look really, really pretty. And the last one I'm going to show you with paint, I'll just get another little drop of paint, is the stencil brushes. So let's get a tiny more bit of paint, don't need a lot. And so we're going to do this stencil. So we're going to pop this on here. Now this again would look great in black, obviously, would look great on an art page or on a card front or anything. So stencils are quite versatile. I'm going to do this down here where I've got a bit of room. Here. So again, so we put our brush in the paint, and we tap off as much as we can. Now, as I said, you can put more paint on, but you can't take it off. So the best thing to do is start with less paint and then add more. And then using a brush like this is really good for when you've got really fine lines to do. Just finish the art. I'll do the whole word so you can see. Lift it up, and then you've got gone over to underneath. So there you've got this beautiful word done. So that's another way we can do it. All right, so we just put that to the side, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to show you one more way you can use your stencils. So you can grab an outliner or a black pen or anything. Find out how to open this. And I'm just going to use the black, but you could use any colour. And this is something that you could do if you wanted to have a black outline and then colour inside. So you just go using it to trace around. Now I'm sure there's lots of other different ways you can use your stencils. I mean, you could even do this if you wanted. So if you did, let's just do it on here first, finish this off. So if you wanted to have a outline on your one that you'd stenciled, one I'd stenciled earlier, you could use this to do that. This is also good for doodling. So if you like to doodle, you can use stencils to help you with your doodling. So if you had a page where you had doodling on your things, to fill in, instead of doing freehand doodles, you could use these to fill in for your doodles. So, I mean, if you wanted to, again, you could have grabbed this one and you could go around. I'm not going to go around it, but you could do the same thing. Make sure you got the right way. Obviously that's not the right way. Figure out how to get it done. And then just go around the edges if you wished. So, yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to, if you were doing a doodling page and you could fill it in with lots of different ones, you know, you could do you could do the whole thing. You could do the flower inside. So this might be something that you would have a background already done and then you just doodle over the top. So I mean, there's, oh, sorry, it's not in the screen. So there's so many ideas you can do with that. So I suggest you have a try, and so I suggest you have a try at playing with stencils if you have any at home and using different techniques. Maybe you have some ideas to share with me, because I'm always looking for new ideas. And if you want any other ideas for using stencils or any other products, just put them in the comments box. If you have any projects that you have that you'd like to share with us, we'd be happy to see those as well. And that's it for me today, and we'll see you next time in the Fundamentals videos. Okay, bye.